G'day Canooning Group members, just here today with Nick Rodenclaw. And Nick, we're at Pasco Farms. How far from Esperance are we?
We're about 65 k's,
Yep.
directly east.
Yep.
So yeah, halfway to the end of the farmland.
And tell us a little bit about the operation.
So we're reasonable size sheep and cattle and cropping enterprise. So yeah, about 11,500 hectares. So yeah, mating around 17,000 ewes and 1,200 cows and about 3,000 hectares of crops.
So obviously need some decent infrastructure from a sheep management perspective, and we're standing in an absolute cracker of a shed. 8 stands here. You've done what, three or four shearings in it already?
Yep.
And obviously works pretty well. Some of the AWI principles built into it as well, and good to see, from a sheep flow perspective, it obviously works pretty well.
So all those things from a sheep flow point of view work really well for our guys and for the contractors. Working in the penning up department, it's really good. And then on the front side of things, that stuff that AWI has been putting together we followed those rules pretty close to get the straight drag and the recess cutaways, slope and catching pens, all those things, trying to help the shearers out. Look after the bodies a bit more.
It's a hard enough job as it is, let alone having to drag everyone kicking and screaming. So look, I think obviously some of those principles make a big difference at the end of the day. But there's some innovations in the shed which I think are pretty cool. The wool bins here, which are sort of set off the edge, but and sort of cut into the board. You sort of explained before,
So I guess trying to use the area efficiently that we had. The stands needed to be where they are to fit the design, and we ended up with quite a big area here. So we've gone for the flat board, which I had a 50% chance of being right on that one. So a few things. You talk to shearers and wool handlers especially, and they'll talk about the reaching all day and the leaning in. So they'd rather bend straight down and pick a fleece up. Safety falling off. Raised boards, you make raised boards too deep. It's a hard work to handle the wool.
That's right.
Make them too narrow, it becomes pretty hard for guys shearing. So
I think you're right with the 50%. You sort of, there are benefits and disadvantages to each, and I think
definitely.
probably
and a lot of personal preference too.
Exactly.
Different teams will tell you different things, but I guess those were the main things that we used to go with the flat board. So and end up with a lot of space. We've checked those wool bins into the floor because I was a bit worried we were going to be too far to go.
And on the other side of that, we've got a concreted area which is where your presses are, so they're not up on the timber floor or anything crazy like that. So, and then plenty of area then for wool storage, so about 220 bales down there.
So I think the math says about 220, 240.
And you can bring a truck in there easily enough, and then use it for other storage if you need to.
And that's important too. We only share for 6 weeks of the year, so it is important to be able to utilise it for, So we've got a grain auger and a hay mower in there at the moment, and still enough room to do a few other things. So.
Absolutely, and look, notice we've got plastic floors in the shed. You're saying, they obviously clean very well, they're very quiet, some advantages to those as well.
And very, the light coming through them is a bit less directional.
So that flow of animals through the shed, it makes it good.
And modular, easy to replace. You just untech them and whack a new one in if you have a problem.
If and when you need to.
Resilient. They're not going to rot and crack and
Brilliant.
So
That's great.
Term.
Thanks for giving us a rundown on the shed. Nick, we're also here having a look at your yards. You've got a cracking set of yards out there, and we'll take some footage of that and put it into the video as well. It's a Commander AgQuip set of yards out there, and we're under, obviously the shed extends off the shearing shed and over the yards as well. It's a 64 by 32 shed, I think we said, and great set of yards out there. Probably some innovations in there. Lots of PA gates, I noticed. Can you ever have too many?
No, I don't think you can. And you sort of when you sketch out in your mind what you need, you probably need to double it and add some. So it makes for a long day in the yards if you're climbing over rails, dogs are jumping over rails. We've got the dog flaps under the PA gates. So
and they use them?
yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, some do, some don't.
Did they take a bit of training?
Yeah.
I also noticed in terms of our furry friends, you've got a dog water bowl out there that's fresh filled, which is awesome. Nice big long race, so plenty of room for dogs to run either side of that as well. So single race, and also provision to put a bulk handler in there if you want to later on. So a lot of flexibility in that yard design.
Yeah, and a lot of things, I guess. It was a big build for us, it was a big project. I wanted to future-proof it a bit with a few of those extra designs and just try and think about what was coming in the industry. And
From an EID perspective? Or?
Oh, just with everything, just with tech. Handlers. People are trying to do things more efficiently and we're doing multiple treatments on things these days. So conveyors, bulk handlers, those sort of things I think are going to become a lot more commonplace. And I would have hated to do the project and go, oh, I wish I'd just put another little spur here so we could run a handler or something. So
no, plenty of flexibility I noticed down there. And obviously one of the important parts of any set of yards is from an outloading perspective, a great ramp there. You've modified the design a little bit so that it fits in with the site and the slope and whatnot, and power lines, etc. So
again, same thing. Just trying to make things safer and easier and quicker, and swinging off the back of truck tail doors is probably something we do a bit much of in WA. And having a good, nice, solid ramp, helps us speed up that outloading process. And it's good. Works really well. You can basically stand at the back and let them fly, and they can as fast as they can pin them, they run on.
They run on the truck. That's how we want it. Well, Nick, thanks so much for showing us around. It's been a cracking day, having a look around the yards here, and well done. We'll look forward to incorporating this into the next edition of Farming Ahead, into the research report, where we've got a stack of different yard designs. So stand by for that one.